Hello, welcome. This is Alex Palmer speaking for Very Own Polymath. Today we're going to talk about Guitar Pro 6, and I'm going to show you some of its best features and explain how I use it to make some truly beautiful sheet music. So, the goal of today is to create a new guitar lesson. The other night I was playing these arpeggios in the key of G, and I thought this would be the perfect material to run a tutorial video on. So let's get it going. We now have Guitar Pro open, and we're going to go up to File, and we'll select New Score. Now, Guitar Pro 6 offers you a number of templates, but I have these two that I use most often, Killer Template and Winning Parchment. That's for something else. So let's go ahead and select the template that I've made. Now, here's my template. It has everything that I need to get going. It has a reasonable tempo. My website is here, and it's got a spot for the title and everything. And so this is how I usually start when I'm creating something new. So let's go ahead and start tabbing right away. I'll put in a G. And actually, there's something I need to do because I'm always tuned down half a step. So that's how I have this set. So let's go ahead and put it to standard tuning, and we'll apply there. So now when we play a G, it will actually sound like a G, a concert G, and not a G flat, which is what I'm used to. So now I'm going ahead and I'm plugging in the notes here of the arpeggio that I was playing the other night. 4, 5, 2. So that's our sequence. Let's take a listen. Cool. So I'm going to take all of this, and this is how it ends. So I'll highlight all of that and hit Command Copy, and we'll paste it here. And so that's my sequence, and it's only going to take up 2 bars. So my next step is to go down to this little thing. It's sort of a flex button. It looks like a dumbbell or a barbell or something. And this is such a powerful button that most people don't seem to know about. But what it lets you do is shift so that you can format this expertly and have it looking beautiful. And it also has these buttons here, which allow you to add a bar or subtract. So I know about this document that I want 2 bars on every line. So I'll go ahead. So 2, 2, 2, and now I'll just hit right. And I'll give us a bunch of room to play with because this will be a fairly long document. Now see how this is red. This is Guitar Pro telling me that my bar is incomplete. Now, this is all the notes that I want, so what I'm going to do is make this a quarter note by hitting dash twice, dash, dash. And now I'll slap in a rest by hitting R on the keyboard. So now you see it's not red anymore. We have 4 beats filling a 4/4 bar. So that's great. So I'll take this and shift it a little bit. And when I make these things, I like to put repeats. So I hit the right bracket button, and I'll say yes. I'll play it 2 times. Because what this does is it sort of sections the sequence off, and it sort of suggests to the player that I want them to repeat it, whether or not I do myself. But the point is it sections this off and makes it look great. I sort of missed a step here, so let's do this quick. We'll go up to File, and if you see here, I haven't put in my title yet, and I usually like to do that right away. So we'll go up to File and go down to Score Information. These two are so important. I'll talk about both of these at length, but we'll start by going to Score Information. And what do I want to call this? We're calling this Guitar Pro 6 Tutorial, baby. No, I'm just clowning around. Tutorial. And what are we playing? Today we're doing 7th arpeggios in G major. That looks good. And don't worry about all of this. I know that this isn't actually the artist and that's not the subtitle, but I like how it looks. So I sort of disregard that and I just put it in how I want. So that looks great. It's got my name, it's got our title and what we're doing. So I know that there are 7 different chords that we're going to be doing. It will be 8 because we're doing the G again. So let's go ahead and have 8 different sections. So there will be our 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6, 7, 8. And I'll put repeats because I know that I'm going to want them. So what we're doing here is just creating our format, and then we're going to plunk in the notes, and we'll be laughing. Okay, so now we have our little format here, and I'll get rid of this because sometimes seeing the blue is just a little bizarre. But also, here's something that I need to do right now. Killer template. See that little star up there? That's showing us that we've made edits to whatever it is that we have opened. So I'm going to save this, as I like to do, as soon as possible. We'll go Save As. And that looks like a good title. And we'll hit Save. So now that's there, and everybody's happy. Now before we continue on, I'm seeing these little numbers here, 1, 3, 5, 7, and what these are the bar numbers. I have them set to appear on the first bar of every line, but I don't really want those right now for what it is that we're doing today. So we'll go down to Stylesheet, and we'll talk about this briefly. I had to make a note when I was first printing guitar lessons. I found that the program came set to A4. So when I was printing them, some of it would be cut off the bottom, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. And that's when I became acquainted with this Stylesheet button. It's very powerful. You have a number of things that you can control. I always take the indentation away at the start. I have my track names and all of that. In here, you can change the font. It's really amazing. You can control almost everything about the look of your document. But the only thing that we want right now, because I've already set my template, right? I've already set it basically how I want, so we don't need to do much of this. But the bar numbers, I want to hide them, and I think this will look. Yeah, you see, it just looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so now we'll talk about sections. So this is a G major 7 sequence. So down here, we have our little section button. We'll click that. And I know that this is the first chord, and we'll call it a G major 7. Now, I like to do steps. If I can do one thing, I'll do it over and over and over, just to sort of keep my brain working smoothly. So I know that my next one will be a 2 chord, and it will be an A minor 7. So we'll go through and we'll just make our little format here. So 3 chord will be a B minor 7, and then we want our 4 chord is a C major 7. Our 5 chord is a 5D7. And now 6 will be minor, and it's an E minor 7. This one's a little fishy. This is our 7 chord. We'll call it an F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then we'll go back home. We've reached up, we'll call this 1, G major 7. Good, so this is what our sequence is going to be, and we now need to plug these notes in, but we have our format here, so we're well on our way, and let's keep it going. So what would the A minor 7 be if we kept it the same? I'll show you. It would be 5. Oh, here, it's set to a quarter note. So again, I'll hit Shift plus plus and make it a 16th note. So it'll be 5, 3, 5, 7, 5, 5, 3, 5. And now we just go in reverse. 3, 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, 3. And now I'm going to do the same thing where I copy this much, hit Command C, and then Command V, and there it is. Now again, we have this red bar showing me that it's incomplete. But if I wanted to stay on a roll, I would just ignore that for now, and I'm going to do all the rest of them in one go once we have the notes in. So let's just continue on here. We want a B minor 7, so we'll go 9, we'll go 7, 9, 7, 7, 5, 7, and go back in reverse. You can sort of shut your brain off and just plunk in what you see and put it in reverse. 5, and we'll do the same thing. We'll take it, copy, and paste. Now I'm going very fast to try and save time, so let's see how fast we can go here. So this is a major 7, so we want 9, 10, and 9, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, we'll just take it and copy. Copy and paste is so important when you get rolling on these things. This one's going to be really weird. So we'll go 10, 9, 12. And here's our funky note right there, our flat 7. And then so 12, 11, 10. Again, our weird note, and 10. Take it in reverse. 11, 12, 10, 12, 9. We'll take all of this again, copy and paste. E minor 7, this one will be good. 10, 14, 12, 14, 12, 12, 10, 12. And now in reverse, 12, 12, 14, 12, 14, 10. And we'll go and copy all of this. Now this one's going to be really weird. So 14, 12, 15, 14, 16, 14, 13, 12, 14. Sorry, 14. Then we'll just take it in reverse. 13, 14, 16, 14, 15. And we'll copy all of this. Copy and paste. Now we're back home here. We'll go 15, 14, 17, 16, 17, 16, 15, 14, and our root note. Now we'll go back in reverse. And we'll copy this once more. Okay, so I don't know if I made any mistakes because I basically flew through and did that as fast as I could, but we'll listen to it and make sure, but I'm sure it's okay. So here's what we're going to do. Remember I said we're going to fix all these red bars. So we'll go dash, dash, rest. And we'll go dash, dash, rest. Dash, dash, rest. And remember, I'm putting the rest in just by hitting R on the keyboard. Dash, dash, rest. Dash, dash, rest. Okay, so we've flown along, and that looks pretty good as it is. However, I don't really like the look of this shifted thing, so again, we're going to pull up our little blue thing, and I just like to have these a little more centered. I think it looks more beautiful. And you don't want to go way, if you went way in, suddenly you can see that you can't really make out these notes, and you need to sort of find, what's most pleasing to you. So just find somewhere that's in there. That looks good. Okay, now just to be sure, we're going to go through and listen to these quick. I'm going to save this because we just did a lot of work and we don't want anything to go wrong. So let's just listen to each one here. Sounds good? Yes. B minor 7. Gorgeous. Oh my. Let's see our D7. Yes. Here's our really weird one. And here's our final. Okay, so everything is fine and I'm extremely happy that there were no mistakes. So what I want to show you here is this little guy down here. This is how we're going to hit our metronome. So we can click this and change our beats per minute. But I don't usually do that. I like the look of 100, sort of, 100%. Let's keep it going in a winning character. So we'll hit OK, but down here, this is what I like to do just to toy around if I ever want to save time when I'm listening to it. So we'll go to 200% and hear how it sounds. And I let that play to show you that if you do have it in repeats, it will repeat. And when I was playing these before, I was actually stopping it with the space bar, and that's why when we listened to every line, it only played once. So we'll put this down to something reasonable, 150%. That looks good. Now, we're basically done. I'm quite happy with how this looks. However, I am always interested in getting more mileage out of my work. So when I was playing this sequence on the couch the other night, I found this other sequence that was really quite nice, and it sounded really good in reverse. So what we're going to do is we'll copy this, we'll go down to a free space, I'll put in a repeat, and I'll take this much. Now I can take all of this, copy, paste it, I'll put a repeat, and I'll go dash dash to make it a quarter note, and a rest. Now let's listen to this. So what we're going to do is copy and paste that for every chord, and we're basically going to create a second document, and I'll show you how to export these and everything. But for now, let's go through and just start taking these. But first, I want to, once more, as we did before, we'll make a little format so that we're not guessing where these should go. Make sure we have lots of room. Okay, I'm just winging it here. But let's go ahead and put in our sections again. So since we're going in reverse, this one will still be G major 7. This one will not be an A minor, but it will be a 7 chord. And this is our weird F sharp minor 7 flat 5. 6, it's an E minor 7. This is our 5. It's a D7. This is our 4, C major 7. And 3. This is our B minor 7. Looking for our second chord. This is an A minor 7. And finally, our home, G major 7. Now, there's extra stuff here that we don't want, but I'll just leave it for now. So here, I'm just going to go up and copy this, and thus begins the cut and paste process, where I take this much, copy, and I'll paste it there. Now, to save your eyes, I'll show you this feature down here, this little percent thing. This shows you how big it's going to be. So I'll go down to 50% because I'm going to have to scroll up and down a lot. We'll go to 75. So now I want my E minor 7. Just copying this. And people are amazed because they say, how do you get so many notes out of your work? And this is how, by copy and pasting and repurposing the stuff smartly. So D7, I want the first half, copy and paste. C major 7. I hear some clown outside with a basketball. There's a public court pretty close to here, and I think this time of year I'm really hearing it often. So where are we? B minor 7. Yes. I'm basically on autopilot right now because I have made this document before, so I want to do this as quickly as I can to show you just how easy it is and to save time. But I hope you're having fun. I think this is a nice thing to share, and I would really appreciate it if you'd show a friend who uses this, or even just call them up and download the software, because this software has changed my life. Okay, so I'm going to erase this stuff. Hit Control, Subtract. Now Guitar Pro does this funny thing where it does that, so you have to hit the bar and just pull it all the way out as such. So we'll do that, and we'll go back to 100%. Okay, now begins the copy thing. I'm going to do all of these in one, so I'll hit copy, and I'll paste it. And again, I'll go dash dash rest, and I'll hit a repeat. Now let's do that here. Copy, paste, dash dash rest, repeat. We're going to do this for all of them. Paste, dash dash repeat. So you see how fast this really can be. Command, copy, paste, dash, dash, rest. Oh, I didn't put the rest down here. And we'll go repeat. We're almost done. Going as fast as I can, because life is short. Rest, copy, paste, dash, dash, rest, repeat. Copy, paste, dash, dash, rest, repeat. Okay, so I haven't even taken the time to listen if there's any errors, but what I want to do first of all is pull up this little thing, and we'll just sort of even them out a bit, because I think symmetry is very important. I remember hearing something that a symmetrical face is like the most attractive face. So let's gesture at some higher beauty here. So we'll get rid of that. So now we have a very long document, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. But first we should probably listen to this just to make sure. And again, we have it at 150, and we'll go through and hear each one. Cool. Oh, that one is really nice. Beautiful. So we didn't really have to listen to these because we know that they're okay, because we already listened to these and we just sort of cut and pasted the same notes. But I thought I'd do that. And obviously we would never play it that fast. Possibly someone could play it that fast. But I only have it going that fast to save time, because I just want to get an oral impression and hear that it's okay. And it is okay. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks great. This is our Guitar Pro 6 tutorial, and it's turned out quite nice. So we'll hit Command S and we'll save it. Now, here's an important feature. Down here, if we wanted to, we could click on our track, and it gives us the option to include slash notation, standard. So I'll show you how it looks with standard notation. It looks cool. It's filled out a bit, and now we can see what I refer to as the piano notes. You know, this is sort of what I see as good for piano and voice and other instruments. But you see we have these accidentals because we are in the key of G. You'll see them basically on every other chord. So here they are, not there. And this is where the phonies are separated from the big boys. What you want to do if you are in the key of G is you want to go up to your little key signature bank up here. And we're in the key of G, so we'll go down and put that and say hello. So now our accidental is put on up there, and basically it applies. So that just looks a little bit cleaner, and you can always tell if someone's posted something with standard notation and they haven't set a key, you just know that it's just something's missing, okay? But here's something that I did plan to say today. It's one of the few things that I rehearsed, is that I want to comment on the distinction between tab and standard notation. When I was at university, all the classical guitar players would argue that tablature is useless, that standard notation is the way to go, and there was this sort of pomposity attached to it, which I just never got, because here's how I see tab. It is a notation system designed specifically for your instrument, for the guitar. So this is kind of like, imagine you went to a tailor and you got a suit, and it's form-fitted to your body, and it's everything you ever dreamed of. That's what tablature is. However, standard notation for notating guitar is sort of like that cheap, one-size-fits-all, you found it in the bargain bin. It's the suit that will do the job, but it's not ideal because it's not as precise and as comfortable as it could be. So that's just a little comment. I will always stick with tab, and I almost never use standard notation unless if I want it for an educational purpose. So let's go ahead and get rid of it, because basically, in my opinion, it's just taking up space here. And yeah, it looks good and it makes you look cool, but let's get rid of it. So, what else do I want to show you? We'll hit save, and okay. We've made two documents here. So this is going to take a little bit of finessing. I'm going to go down here and subtract all of this. And yes, this is quite frightening. So I'm going to hit Control and hit Subtract. Oh no, all of our work, whoops, all of our work was just lost. So we'll hit our Flex tool and pull this one out. We'll get rid of it and say, well, okay, I almost hit Save, which would have been so dangerous. What I want to do is go up and go to Save As. Okay, and we're going to call this 7th arpeggios in G, and this is ascending. Okay, that was very crucial that you go to Save As. So now we'll hit Save. Okay, so now we have it on our desktop. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back to our original file. Oh, here's my sweet dog. She's absolutely gorgeous. I've had her on here since I got this computer. So we'll go back and we'll open our original that we were working on. So here's the document that we just made, which cuts off there. Here, just for, I'll make this 75% just for viewing pleasure. So now we have this document, and I'm going to change the title. We'll go Score Information, and we'll just discern here Ascending. There. Now we'll hit Save. And let's go up to our original, which was sort of our rough copy. So now I want to delete everything above here so that we get the descending part. Okay, so I'll go up and hit Control, Subtract, and look, now we have that, and we'll go Score Information, and we'll call this Descending. So basically we've just made two files out of the same material. And we're going to go to the same thing, go to Save As, and we'll call this 7th arpeggios in G, descending. We'll save to our desktop. There, so that looks phenomenal. I'll go back and make this one 100. I'll show you, well, it doesn't matter why. But so now we have three files. We have our original, which was our tutorial, and now we have our ascending file and our descending file. So I'm going to close these, and I like to open them fresh because sometimes if you edit the wrong one, it will create multiple files, but don't worry about that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to save or how to export these. Say you want to share this online, or you want to print it, or assemble it in a big PDF or something like that. What you would do is go up to File, and this is beautiful. It was an inspired day when I found this that you can export. You go to PDF, okay, and that looks good. We'll save it as such. Now we'll minimize this and find our file here. So look at that. We have a PDF file that's ready to be shared, and this is just gorgeous. If you zoom in here, the quality of this program, there's just nothing nicer. I just think it just looks so amazing. So if we want to share this, most sites you have to share as an image file. So I'm on a Mac here. We can go up to File and Export once more. And we'll export this as a JPEG. We'll crank it up because that's all we know, and we'll hit Save. Now when we open this, we have a JPEG which can now be shared wherever. But if you notice, we only have one page. I'm trying to scroll down to find the second one. You have to go back to your PDF and basically highlight this page and export it as well. So it will be its own photo file. So we'll go to Export, and again we'll go to JPEG, we'll crank it up. And I don't remember if I changed this. I may have, but whatever this is, I think it looks really good. And we'll hit Save. Oh, right. You could put page 2 or something, but I'll just keep it simple for now. Okay, so we have ascending, and well, I'll open both of them and show you what we end up with. Okay, so we have page 1 and page 2 in JPEGs. These are ready to be shared, and if you wanted to, you could do any number of things. You could delete everything except for just one line, and you could post that. You know what I mean? You could get a lot of mileage out of the same stuff by posting it in different different places. So that's it. That's everything that I wanted to do today. But I'm also going to show you another use for this. I several years ago put out a guitar lesson series, Alex Palmer Video Guitar Lessons. And this is an old document, but sometimes I'll use Guitar Pro in this way where I'll have a running document that just has a bunch of ideas on it. And I think I've gone down here and I have it set to vertical screen, which basically doesn't force any page breaks or anything. So this is really special to me. I have many documents like this where I save ideas because you never know what you could use. And sometimes you can go back, and find something that you used to play, chord set. This is something that I thought was really nice. And so you can save these ideas and come back to them whenever. So that's another way to use this, is just to save ideas. Let's see, here's another document. These are the chords on the door at the cottage. So these are just some chords that I thought were cool. Let's take a listen. So there's just a little idea that I thought was cool. And I've opened this here to show you. Say I didn't want to make this all one page. I could go down here to parchment. And now I have something smaller and more concise that looks beautiful. And probably I would go down and make this smaller. It looks a little obnoxious. And just if you're curious, if I wanted to do that, I would go to Stylesheet. I would go to header and footer, first page footer, and I would just change the size of it here to, I like 8, basically as small as I can, because even though it looks small there, it'll still be fairly large when you export it. So that's how you could go about doing that. And I'll just show you a couple things. Here's one that for an upcoming guitar project. It's in divisions of 5. Take a listen to this. Oh, and you can put the metronome on here, down here. So that one's really weird because it's groups of 5, and basically it's just a sweeping exercise, and it's part of a larger etude. Like, this is a long etude, but you see here I put exclamation 11 Twitter. So this is just sort of a sample that I would give to sort of generate interest, and maybe someone would buy the whole collection. And here's a throwback to a series I did in 2014, my inspiration series. We'll take a listen to this. Without the metronome. Okay, so that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you got a lot out of this. We've covered a number of topics. And, well, I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you ever have something that you need edited, or you want to send something my way, or if you have any questions, please get in touch. I'd be happy to field any questions you may have. And that's it for now. Thanks for listening, and happy shredding.